In this situation, he's really done the wrong.
This is the thing, right? A lot of that conversation, they are literally just talking to each other.
It seems every single time this guy actually tries to speak to somebody, they're either a teenager or they're somebody who's just out to get them.
It's kind of just pushing like quite anti-gay rhetoric.
Can you imagine just getting out and go, I don't understand. Like I feel like I'm a nut, like going nuts here. Like
the story here, it's just James Charles has messaged someone,
and for once they weren't a kid. James, who so happens to be gay, no, but it reflects to his homosexuality. This whole topic does, all right?
So you say that actually, my idol, Jordan B. Peterson, tweeted
up.
earlier saying, "Who you are sexually attracted to does not define your identity."
I mean, does anyone really say it?
And what I'd like to say to Jordan B. Peterson is, do you remember when you ate meat only because you wanted to make a point and you nearly died?
Oh, that's staying in the clip because Jay Dizzle, mate, you need to go eat your greens.
Yeah, eat your greens.
But James, Jamie C, he's been exposed recently for DMing people and flirting with people. It's and when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, has James been exposed again for DMing kids?" No, he actually hasn't for once. Congratulations. He was. I sent you this, and I was very confused by this because it's been kicking up a stir, as they'd say. Pretty much, James got in beef because he DM'd some people, and then they went onto TikTok and they leaked it, and they were like, "James Charles has been DMing me, a straight guy. He's trying to go for straight guys again," and it's like. Okay, like I don't really care.
I think that this is a case of where people have just gone out of their way to try and make someone's life worse.
Yeah,
that's what I've got out of this.
And it's like, how do you even do that? Because this is a bloke who's literally admitted to like, he was like, yeah, I did DM kids that one time. Like he's done that. He's admitted that. Like we can move on. I don't need to know James's relationship issues, but this became like a massive issue. Like this was like the biggest thing that James Charles has done in years. And there was like a tweet thread about it, and I'm gonna read you because it was like based on like how the tweet is captioned. You think he's like blooming killed somebody. Shock leak. James Charles is back at flirting and making straight men uncomfortable. I mean, what does that even mean? He's back at flirting. like James, I mean, to be fair, for the safety of a lot of teenagers out there, maybe he shouldn't be allowed to flirt. But in this case, like realistically,
this like the first screenshot where it's like the DMs he sent, they actually are quite amusing.
Yeah, well, we will read them. Let's just read the tweet first. He goes, "The alleged screenshots reveal the benefits of being his BF. In one text, James says, it's a really lucrative role. James used Instagram's vanish mode in an attempt to prevent a leak." I mean, to be fair, like I can't really blame the bloke, like because I mean, this is what happens when he doesn't. Like it does get leaked, and like again, I think he's a complete bellend, but in this situation, he's really done the wrong. Like, let's read these DMs. He goes, "It's a really lucrative role. It's called My Boyfriend. Requirements 6+2. Must love escape room." But before we go any further, my friends, I did just want to interrupt here and say I've got a few little requests. Firstly, could you obviously please subscribe to the podcast because we upload podcasts every single week, clips basically every few days, and we also upload shorts and all that good stuff. We've got a lot of stuff going on in this community, and I would really appreciate it if you just supported the channel. It's free, and if you don't want it, you could end up just leaving anyway. So yeah, please firstly subscribe to the channel, but also we've just opened up a Reddit page, r/thebuddies podcast. It's there to build a community, it's there to have fun, and it's there to just in general share interactions between this community. And then we've also got our Instagram and TikTok and Twitter page where we'll be posting reels, TikToks, whatever you want to see from this podcast, pretty much. It's all there in the description, and I would really appreciate it if you went and followed and did everything that I just requested. Thanks so much. Have a lovely day, and let's get back into it.
Pass me the laptop a second, Fraser. We're going to go through the requirements here, and we're going to see if you will qualify for being James Charles Bubba.
Go on. Lay it on me.
How tall are you?
I am 6'2", I think.
You're 6'2"?
I'm 6'1" or 6'2". I think I'm 6'2". Would you say I'm 6'2"? Can we say I'm 6'2" for the...
I don't know how tall you are, mate.
I think I'm 6'2". I am.
I think for the sake of getting the benefit of the doubt, I'll allow it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Do you have armpit hair?
I do. I have quite a lot of it. I've never shaved my old pits.
Show the camera.
There's the pit. You can't. I don't know if you can see that, but the pits are right there, baby. They don't come cheap.
Please censor that, editor. Thank you.
Please just put a big old block of cheese there.
Finally.
Yep.
How big is your chopper? This is a clip in itself, by the way.
It's perfectly sized, I'd say.
Yeah.
Perfectly sized and does the old job. It's pretty decent. I like it. You know, it gets me from point A to point B.
Well, you pogo sticking around on it.
Mate, you said bloomin' chopper, didn't you?
Chopper. Oh yeah.
What are you talking about?
I can't imagine that.
Can you imagine just getting your money out and go? You just take
off.
You mentioned earlier why I've invented jetpacks to just fly across the country. All you got to do now is just get your wang out and just go stretch it out and stuff.
They say that people can only use 30% of their brains, and if you could use the other 70%, men would be flying around waving their willies about, just flying across the continent.
Men have been waving their willies about for a very long time. This is an advanced version of it. This is how we advance as a society.
This is how we get to Mars.
It's the next SpaceX. It's the next SpaceX presentation.
Like the NASA videos where you just see the rocket going up, right? What if you just see right, Elon Musk going?
That's what I was gonna say.
Right, Elon Musk going, right, first man on Mars, and then the launch, and then it goes to launch, right? And it shows a big rocket, and then the countdown ends. The rocket doesn't take off, but we just see out of nowhere flying up Elon Musk helicoptering his knob around.
but there's still the traditional American countdown where it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then there's eerie silence. People have thought the rockets just completely failed. And then in the office where there's a comedic zoom in, the camera just turns and zooms in.
First of all it cuts to Jim Halpert going,
and then the camera pans and zooms in, and it's just Elon just going.
But in a plot twist, he doesn't even take off.
He's just got a really, really in pain willy.
It's just red, hanging off.
How do we even get onto this?
I don't know, mate.
Speaking about Jim.
Basically, you don't qualify to be the boyfriend, I don't think.
Do you know James used to have a crush on iMallet?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
That's one of the most messed up things I think I've ever heard.
Mate.
If there was a reason to cancel Jimbo Charlie, it was honestly that.
What? Can you read me what are the perks of being with James Charles? Because this is my favourite part of the conversation, I think.
Perks include a cute boyfriend with a great personality and huge ass. This plays into something I wrote down, but we'll continue. Free living in a $10 million house in LA, fun travel opportunities, good head, and more. What does that mean? What does good head mean?
He's good at the big mouses sloppy whoppies, mate.
So he did say he has a huge ass, and my question...
Mate, I think someone's knocking at your door.
Yeah, I think it might be the Amazon delivery driver. And we're back.
Hello. We had to stop the pod because he's ordered shampoo for his dog and himself at the same time, which is quite adorable.
Do you not poo it up every now and again?
I'll poo it up, mate.
big old sloppy doodah.
Yeah.
We should probably continue with what people actually, the main point of this.
Yeah, this is an absolute mess as always, isn't it?
2 to 7. James tries to convince David to FaceTime him. David also alleges that James sent him 2 illicit photos after David declined to send a selfie to James. I think. Well, what was that? You sick man.
Just like a little Barney Gumble. I can help myself.
You should get some self-respect, mate. Okay, so firstly, there probably is an issue. If he did send him a big old photo of his wang without permission, then maybe that is...
Yeah, unsolicited, not...
Yeah, that is wrong.
Unsolicited. Yeah. That was I had a moment there. I think I have dementia.
What is an illicit photo? Because it might not be that.
Illicit, I think that is implying...
But if he was willing to record his videos and snap and DMs and stuff, surely he'd be willing to take photos of him sending that, you know what I mean? And the weird thing is I kind of get from it, because there's so many DMs here, and it's surely he is literally entertaining it. He's replying, he's hearting James Charles'
yeah,
replies.
this is the thing, a lot of that conversation, they are literally just talking to each other.
It seems every single time this guy actually tries to speak to somebody, they're either a teenager or they're somebody who's just out to get them, pretty much.
I think it's a really good point that the Twitter thread made, is that it's kind of just pushing quite anti-gay rhetoric, just because it's just literally a man flirting with someone else.
Yeah, I mean the amount of times, as much as there is a case. Mate, if Because I've seen people being like, you shouldn't date fans, you shouldn't speak to fans and stuff. In a lot of senses with James Charles, how is James Charles, for one, going to meet somebody who isn't like isn't somebody that knows him at least? Like, I don't think the person he was speaking to is a diehard James Charles fan.
Yeah,
you shouldn't date
exactly.
diehard fans. But like, I've become friends with people I was fans.
Yeah,
of,
it's like as long as you're like clearly not being manipulative about it.
Yeah,
I genuinely don't think it actually matters.
I guess there's like a boundary of like, if they're like an actual stan, they're obsessed and stuff. Like, yeah, that's a boundary there.
I think there's defo possibilities with it for
But,
there
like,
to be an abuse of power.
Yeah, but like, my girlfriend knew that I was a YouTuber. Like, she knew that. But like, that's never been a part of our relationship. Like, that you have to, like, yeah, you can acknowledge there is like power dynamics in like, you have like this big platform and stuff, but as long as you don't abuse that power dynamic, that's the thing. People like to always bring up power, like a serious tip. People always bring up power dynamics, being like, there was a power dynamic, there was power. But in a lot of situations, yes, there's power dynamics, but as long as they're not being abused. But to be fair, like, I guess James kind of is in this. Like, he is being like, oh, I have all of this stuff. Like, but I've seen so many straight celebrities, straight influencers do the exact same thing, and it's never created this level.
People getting a bit weird in messages. It's like nothing new, is it? And like, there's a lot worse shit going on in the world to actually get angry at.
Yeah, like probably him, actually admitting to DMing. Like, this is the thing. I don't get, like, for one, how he's still popular. Like, it's weird to me how you can admit to DMing and like sending photos to teenagers and get away with it like this man has. There were a few tweets that were saying, I don't like James, but this is silly and this is silly. But there was one tweet in particular that he liked where it goes, okay, so here's the thing. James has been predatory to young people in the past, but this is not an example of him doing something wrong. It's the fact that he liked a tweet of being like, yeah, James is a predator. And James is like, yeah, you know what, boys, fair play. Yeah. And then he likes the tweet, which then goes on to defend him. And it's like, there seems to be like such, I don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm going nuts here. Like, there's like, this guy that has done something terrible, but everyone is focusing on the one thing which wasn't actually that bad is the actual issue here. You know what I mean?
Like, there's nothing in their messages that are like that bad at all, and I don't think it's really fair on you to be sharing that conversation with other people.
And I think it's like, as I said, I've seen so many other influencers who are straight do the exact same thing, and they've never received any flack. You get so many people bragging. Like, I mean, even for example, like band culture. I think it shouldn't, like shit like groupie culture shouldn't exist and stuff. But like, that's something which was glorified for so long. But when somebody actually just has a consensual like conversation, this is apparently an issue. And I know people people have aired their issues and stuff and said it was wrong that he was DMing fans, but like, it's just a nothing story in my opinion. There's nothing here, and I think it is a case of like, James is so universally disliked. There's this thing of where when somebody becomes so disliked, you can say something which is just absolute nonsense, but people will still be like, oh yeah, that's absolutely true, like, this guy's horrible for doing that. But it's like, well, no, like, it's nonsense.
I also think you said the term a lot when people are like chronically online.
Yeah,
where people spend their entire time online. They just decide that they need to have an opinion about absolutely everything.
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing like deep to analyse with this story here. It's just James Charles has messaged someone.
And for once they weren't a kid. Like,
and the guy's like completely set him up, which, I think you kind of come out looking like much the worst person here.
Yeah, he looks like a knob. And it's also the fact, like, I mean, he clearly was entertaining the conversation. Like, he was. And there's nothing more we can really say.
Yeah. I'd say he put 3 ha-has, and any more than 2 ha-has shows genuine interest, I think.
No, like, genuinely.
I know, like, 2 ha-has can sort of mean, yeah, like, that can be friendly.
Mate, if they put 4, you know the big old smoochies are coming.
Yeah.
And if they put 5, my friends, you've got some bazookas being delivered in the post.
And if it's in all caps, that man is ruffling. That man is ruffling. That man has got his ruffle copter out and he's off to Mars.
Have you ever been so down bad that you've either all caps ruffled or LMAO'd to somebody? Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I think back in the day I used to like putting lol in capital letters, even though I was just sitting there on my phone completely stone faced.
Yeah, I always feel a bit uncomfortable when I write out LMAO in all caps, because I'm like, I mean, for one, this just doesn't seem like my demeanour. I'm never LMAOing anywhere in real life, and then I'm saying it all the time in text.
I used to be really bad with like analysing people's punctuation and messages to me.
Yeah.
So I would send like over the top emojis to everyone for everything, and now I don't send any whatsoever to anyone.
Back in the day of when you would like put like 9 different hearts to your girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I love you so much. 9 different hearts.
Like back in the day, like the high school relationships, you'd each put like 1 more kiss to each other
every time.
and then if like like they were a bit pissed off with you, they'd take one heart off. How ridiculous is that?
Mate, like relationship culture as a 16 or 15-year-old was brutal.
Yeah,
like if you went from 6 kisses to 4, there's something going on there. Like, there's something wrong. And then they eventually if they go down to 1, mate, you are well and truly
It's genuinely like so traumatic as well, isn't it? Like you're just on an absolute roller coaster.
But when you start to build up the X's or like the kisses in the message, it's like you're in.
Yeah, mate. I imagine that is on par with heroin. That feeling,
mate. There's generally there is no adult. Like, I mean, to be fair, I guess like when you sleep with somebody, like I guess that's like the adult version of
euphoria.
Yeah, but no. I guess with this James thing, I wonder if he I wonder if he does even at like the age of like 23 the mechanism of sending another X every time he wants to get a
James
little bit
Charles
closer.
definitely gets involved with the semantics of the hearts and the X's and the O's.
I mean, mate, he's got a history of messaging people who are actually in that age category of doing that.